Hey, it's John LBF, Little Blue Ford. So, got something new here. Well, newly used. Family friend brought it over. Needs a little TLC, but it's a 5-foot brush hog. The gearbox is good. I'm going to give it a little rehab here. I got to get this skid back on. And this blade bolt, I'm not sure if the bolt's bad or the stump jumper. But I was given extra bolts, and I was told by Tom if the stump jumper's egged out, he can get it fixed for me. So, should have a working brush hog for the Ferguson pretty directly here. But I will update as I go and get this thing patched up and get it to work. Hang on. Alright, little update. So I did pull the loose bolt. It's still got the little nub on it. The hole's a little egged out though, so it jams, but it might need some help. Now I decided to play with this other one. Now I discovered that the bolt isn't really loose, but it's not grabbing. So I'll have to put a pipe wrench on that. Probably get some help. Looks like the stump jumper needs repaired or replaced, so I'll give Tom a ring, and I gotta run and do some things, so we'll be back to this later. Stand by. Alright, back working on the brush hog. Got some of the stuff straightened out last night, didn't film that. Got the stump jumper off. That took a torch and some heat and a 5-ton gear puller stuck on there. I'll clean that up. Might see about getting that repaired still. Might get a new one. And I'm going to get to welding. Alright, so got some parts. Not sure why they chose to double box this, but got my overrun clutch. I got a pack of new blade bolts. That's all correct, I've checked that. Got a heavy duty stump jumper to replace the old one, the old light duty, apparently, and it doesn't fit. It's the right diameter, the blade bolt holes are in the right place. It's a 12 spline, but this is smaller than this. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong with that. I'm going to do some measure taping, and I'm going to do some research tonight and try to figure out what happened there. If they sent the wrong thing, and now I need to decide, am I sending that back? Or am I sending that to a machine shop for new splines? Because I'd much rather have the heavy duty one than the light duty one. Especially with the light duty one needing repair. So I'll get back to y'all as I go and get this figured out. Alright, so a quick little update on the brush hog. I got my stump jumper back. It went to 2 different machinists, and neither one was able to do anything about the splines. The one shop, their machine just wasn't big enough to fit this thing in there, and the other one couldn't figure out any way to do it with what they had. So that's unfortunate. One of them did provide me with this little piece of, I guess it's some kind of tool steel. It's pretty hard. This is the thickness of the bottom of the splines on the old stump jumper. So I at least have some kind of gauge. I'm not sure if I can use it as some sort of tool. Trying to figure things out here. A possibility that I'm not too keen on is to grind the weld and pull this center hub and do the same on my old one and weld the old one in here. But I'll keep you posted as I figure things out, so hang on. Alright, so I'm going to see about tapping the seal out of this thing. There we go. Alrighty. Get that cleaned up and get a new seal in there and make our new gasket. Alright, so I got some paper here. Tan fiber sheet for oil, coolant, and gas. That'll work just fine. Got my handy dandy little compass set. I already took some measures, I drew some lines. So now we'll cut this out. And get on with it. I didn't even think to ask whenever I got the gasket if I'd need a, or got the seal, but I wasn't too worried about it if it needed a paper gasket, or I thought about doing RTV, but I wasn't sure the way this came out. RTV might have been a challenge if I ever had to get it apart again. So, yeah, we'll just make a paper gasket. Doesn't take that long. I've heard of old timers just using a piece of thin cardboard, like a cereal box or beer box or something. I've only done that for templates, because I've been getting the actual sheets. I have a couple different gasket sheets I keep on hand for this kind of stuff. No big deal. Once I get this cut out, we'll get the holes marked and get those punched out. I'm thinking of it. Oh, I threw the punch in there. There it is. Apparently it's been a good day for flying, because there's been a lot of planes up there today. I just want my brush hog done. Hopefully I'll get this seal in today. And then probably won't get the brush hog done today. That's probably going to be a tomorrow or next week thing. But that's okay if I can at least get this done. So there's a hole over here somewhere. I actually just about punched those. Did punch a couple. Cool. Wasn't sure how well that was going to work, but I guess those hole edges are sharp enough. So, there's our gasket. So, I guess it's time to put the seal in. Alright, so here's our new seal. This one does have a spring inside it, so you have to make sure that goes towards the inside, towards the gearbox. This will be your outside face, so it'll go in just like that with the spring towards us. Since this is face down, that's the outside, this is the inside. We should look for a driver for that. Alright, I'll find the driver. Alright. Sorry, I don't have a less bouncy place to put y'all. Alright, so that's pretty well in there. Gonna grease it up and go grease up the shaft on the brush hog. Put our gasket on here. And go get this stuck in. Alright. So I have this thing ready to go, I think. If I can get into the Loctite. So the old ones had blue Loctite, new ones are having blue Loctite. There you go. Start with one just to hold it. I've got grease seal in, or oil seal, I got greased up. I have the new gasket on, new paper gasket. Gonna get this installed and hopefully back together today. Did find some 1¼ bolts, 3/8, coarse thread, all that fun stuff. I don't know if original spec called for grade 8 or not, but unless I have to use a different grade, grade 8's my standard. I've seen some grade 5 on this. The old bolts were too rusty to tell. So, there we go. Oil seals installed. Next step will be putting this thing back together. So, hopefully that helps someone. There is no oil drain on these. So, I mean, I probably could have pulled the front output or something, that cover. Filling it's not a big deal. When I flop it down, I'll fill it after I get the blades on and stuff. I guess I'll bring you guys along for that, so hang on. Alright, down in the shop for a minute. I was putting this video together, and I can't find some footage. I don't know if I didn't record, or if it's just lost, but the stump jumper for the brush hog, I did some research and consulted some machinist text that I had. A push broach, ideally a double-sided, would have made it a lot easier to fix the splines, but I'd need a press, shop press, which I don't have, and currently I don't have access to one. Thought about buying one, but I haven't had the money, and I don't have a place to put it, with the shop not done yet. The splines in the new one were kind of work hardened, so I used a rosebud torch to heat that up as best I could to relax the metal so that I could actually work it decently with the file. And then I spent 2 days filing and testing till it fit. So that's what ended up happening with that. Wish I had the footage. Sorry. Anyway, back to the video. Here we go. The washer and nut on there next, and then we can get the blades back on. See how that works. Yeah, I think we'll try that. So, tighten this bolt up, and then we'll move on to that. Alright, on to the oil fill. So, this guy's a 3/16. And 3/8 for the top one. Yeah, I did have these loose. Now, I'm still waiting on my bucket pump, so I'm just reusing a bag. This is just regular gear oil, not synthetic. We're fingers will work. Alright, so that should be filled. So the next step is to get the farm tractor over and get the drive shaft measured. So I gotta move some things. Hang on. Alright, so here we are, the Ferguson and the brush hog. I ended up cutting down the drive shaft, and here we are. So we're about to try this out. It's gonna be dark real soon. I don't really want to take the time to rig up a camera, so you guys will have to wait until the next time I try this.